My first time cooking epic Dino beef ribs over live fire. So I've dry brined the ribs in the fridge for 2 days, so no salt needed in the rub. I've got garlic granules and they'll be mixed into about twice the amount of coarsely ground black pepper. On with a mustard binder, cover with your rub, making sure to cover the bottom and the sides, and these are ready for a quick rest while we go and light a fire. It's 12:30, I need to get a fire lit with some urgency. We're hoping to have this for dinner tonight. That's probably touch and go. Can I get this done in 5 or 6 hours? Probably. Can I get it done in 5 or 6 hours with a good rest and the meat be good quality? Not sure. I'd probably rather be doing this over 7, 8, 9 hours. So let's get a fire lit. We can have the beef on almost straight away. And let's see how we do. I'm going to start a fire with some beech. Beech burns beautifully, but it creates great long-lasting embers, so for open fire cooking it's absolutely perfect. And then for something a little bit special, I'm going to add some whiskey oak staves. Oak and beef is just gorgeous, and the whiskey just adds a nice smell and a bit of theatre. My beef's going to sit on the asado crust here, so we're lighting a fire on the other side of the bowl. That's going to bounce the heat up towards the beef. These beech splits are super dry, so no kindling needed. So my beef's rubbed, my fire's lit. Let's go get those ribs on the asado, and we'll get them on here as soon as the fire's established. Right, nice established fire. We're going to push this right up to the edge of the Kadai. The asado is going to sit here, and we want that heat basically bouncing up and towards the meat. So this is my setup for the beef. It's not ideal. Usually I'd wire the meat directly to the asado, but I couldn't find my stainless wire. So I've got 4 butcher's hooks. Should do the job. Just need to keep an eye on them and make sure the meat doesn't sort of pull off them or pull away. All right, let's get this on the heat. So you can see there I can hold my hand there for about 5-6 seconds before it gets too hot, and that basically means we're going to cook nice and slowly. I want to start this off nice and slowly, and I can ramp it up later if needed. If I feel like we're not going to get there for dinner tonight, then I could start giving it more heat. But in my opinion, first hour or two we go nice and slow, see how we're getting on, and then go from there. I am going to flip this as I cook. That's going to be a judgment call, but it's got a nice fat cap on it, so it can take some good heat. So we're going to start this way. Yeah, give it nice focused heat to start with, see how the temperature climbs, and then we can flip it to the bone side when we need to. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to wash up. All we've got to do is manage the fire. I'm going to go get a cushion, take a seat, enjoy this sunshine, and I'll see you soon. Right, these have been on for about an hour. We're getting some really lovely heat into that meat side. I actually want to slow things down a little bit, so I'm going to take this off, flip it over and cook bone side down for a while. This actually looks gorgeous. Fat's rendering, rubs sort of turn into a bit of a bark. You know, we're not going to get a smoker level bark, but we are getting a bit of a bark there. My challenge here is going to be getting this back on, getting it bone side down and continuing to cook it. What I actually should have done, thinking about it, should have left that in and just rested it on the top here. Yeah, I'm going to put it back on how it was. That's frustrating. Do I want to do that, or is this heat of the metal underneath it going to rush the cook through? Yeah, I do want to do that. That's what we're going to do. Put it here, just twist them. It's a lot hotter down there, so let my fire die down a little bit. Not a million miles off roasting temperature. There we go. Just sort of actively spread the fire out a little bit more, cool the effects of it a little bit. We are now cooking through the bone side, so should be all good, I think. I don't want this cooked too fast. There I am, worrying about getting it done in time. Yeah, I really don't want to rush it, so yeah, we're just gonna let that fire die down a little bit. Once we feel we've got it a little bit cooler, we might go with a bigger fire, bring the meat up again. So heat's come down nicely. The problem we've got is we've got quite a lot more heat up here than we have down here, so I'm just gonna slide the whole thing up. Oh, I don't want to lose this in the fire. Yeah, nice even heat there. We've got a really nice strong bed of embers. Heat's about the right level, so I'm not going to top up on the fuel for a bit. We'll just sort of slow this down a little bit, ease this through the next phase, and yeah, see how we get on. Might be time for a beer. Cheers. This is the life. So we're still getting great heat from those embers, but the active fire's died out and we do want to keep that going, so we're going to top up with fuel. A couple of our skinnier splits that are naturally going to be the driest, and then we'll just force some oxygen in with the blowpoke. So slowing our fire down and flipping the beef ribs was the right thing to do. We've now got a really nice stable temperature all the way across. We're reading about 60 to 62 degrees C. And just like if we were smoking these on the barbecue, we're going to take these to 95, 96. We'll probe, and when they probe like butter, they're done and they can come off for a rest. I'm going to sit these like this for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to flip again. But when we flip, we're going to take this bottom piece and make sure it's at the top. We've got higher heat here at the top than at the bottom, so flipping them over like that is going to ensure even cooking. Look at the back of those, just look absolutely stunning. So we'll get these fireside down. This is my thickest bit here. It's probably seeing the lowest temperature, so we're good to ramp this up I think now. Try and get this cooked through. And obviously what we should do is finish off this bark a little bit better. Amazing, smell good. I think we'll get these cooked in time. Oh, what a way to spend a Sunday. We go a little bit bigger on the fire. So this is working beautifully. The temperature's coming up all over this slab of meat. So technique and approach so far has worked really well. We've got a little zone here, basically. Hey Jaxie, you come in here. Hello. Don't pee on the cameras. Hello. Hi. Hello. As you can imagine, likes a bit of barbecue. So where were we? Basically the temperature's coming up really nice and evenly across the whole slab of meat. The approach is working. We've probably cooked enough on the bone side now, and we're going to finish from this side. We've got a spot just down here that's coming up a little bit slower than the rest of it. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to move my fire, try and direct some more heat towards that bit of the meat, try and catch it up basically. What we don't want is uneven cooking. If we get one bit that comes up to temperature slower or misses the target temperature, we've got a risk of that being tough, and we don't want that. There we go. I've built up the fire on this side of the bowl. That's going to give us more intense heat, but I've still left embers at the back here. We don't want it to go cold. We want it to keep cooking. We just want to cook at a slightly lower rate. You know, this phase of the cook, absolutely fine to be probing every 5 or 10 minutes and just stay all over this fire to make sure it's doing what you want. All I'm trying to do now is keep a nice fire. That's going to keep creating coals. The coals are what's going to give me the heat underneath. And I've dropped this down. It's just trying to give it a bit more even facing to the coals underneath, basically, just to try and give really nice even heat to it. We're probing from like 70 degrees up to 78, so we really just want to try and equalise that. There's a chance part of it, when we pull it off and rest it, part of it might be under the rest, but you know, we do everything we can to try and pull it off at a nice even temperature. Absolutely buzzing to eat tonight. This is super hot, getting quite a lot of fat smoke now. I've had to move my drip tray a little bit, so fat's dripping onto the coals, and that's why I've got all the smoke, but just want to check that we're not burning. Oh yeah, we are burning. Okay, I think we've pulled that just in time for it to be not too burnt, and we're going to be able to eat it. Yeah, we've caught that just in time. So, let's see where we're up to. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, although we've caught it, got much too much char on the outside there. That sort of 10 or 15 minutes has really sped the cook up, so I'm going to flip it bone side down. I think we'll finish it from the bones now, so we avoid any more blackening on the top there. But I reckon this has got maybe 30 minutes left in it before we pull it off and rest it. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought. This colour, it's a little bit burnt. Doesn't look great, but there's a lot of meat on this joint. So let's just get this balanced on the bone side. I think we've caught that just before it's going to be like acrid and bitter. We'll see. Well, this is fire cooking. I've burnt it a little bit. I've burnt myself on the asado cross. but I think we've rescued that just in time. I'm gonna improvise and foil the top. That's almost gonna create a lid, just stopping it from releasing so much heat this way as we cook from one side. Hopefully that's just gonna get us finished a little bit quicker, just without worrying about having to ramp the temperature up so much, which is what's caused this burning. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Yeah, so just see here, we just caught that fat. It's actually not as black as it looks on camera here. So I do think we're gonna be all right, but let's get it finished and we'll see. There you go. That's gonna do a job, that is. Yeah, happy with that. Yeah, it's interesting. I always used to think fire cooking was about perfection, doing something and getting it perfect, but the more and more I do it, fire cooking is about adapting, improvising, and basically getting it cooked. So I think this is going to help with that. Come back out and probe another 15 minutes, see where we're up to. Right, so I'm going to say that's probably my last fuel top up. These are probing in the sort of mid to high 80s, but beef ribs are one of those things where you really can go by feel, and these are probing beautifully tender all over. There's a small bit on the top here that's a bit tougher. It's just still probing a little bit tough at the top. But the problem is if we focus on trying to get that bit cooked through and get that bit probing soft, we risk drying the rest out. So we're going to go on feel here. We'll give these, I think, about 15 more minutes. We'll pull them off, we'll properly foil wrap them, we'll swaddle them in a towel, and we'll put them in a cool box. I'm going to give them a couple of hours and we'll slice into these, see how we did. But I mean, either way, there's going to be some awesome eating tonight. We're going to have this like a roast dinner. So yeah, this has been a good Sunday, well spent. I'll see you in a bit. Right, time to get these off. Gonna put you face down. Woo! We do not want this to go wrong now. We've already burned them. Now we do not want to drop them. I'm going to try and pull this central bit out first. Oh no, they're well and truly welded on. Right, okay. Let's see if we can pull that out. Yeah. There we go. Right. That should make these come off easily. Yes. Tell you what, they look cooked, they feel cooked, and they smell cooked. Oh man, these hooks are coming out beautifully. Soft, tender beef. Just trying for a nice tight wrap. Sharp ends of the bones are making that a bit difficult. Into our swaddle. Lovely fit into the Yeti. And that's done. Oh, mustn't forget all this gorgeous beef drippings. I'm going to use this for some potatoes. So we'll give this a couple of hours. I think we're going to go for a quick dog walk and to the pub. So we'll see you in a bit. Right, we're in a bit of a race against time with the light. Thought I'd try and do it out here because I really couldn't be bothered to set up any lighting inside. So let's get these out, get them sliced, see how we did. Oh, warm, beefy goodness. Got a good jiggle. Try and save this resting juice. Boat it in there. Got good jiggle. I think we've done all right. I mean, look, we've got really great pullback on that bones. That's the meat contracting as it cooks. Shall we see if we can get a clean bone out? Oh, nearly clean. Don't know whether there's maybe a bit of membrane on there or just not cooked quite enough, but well, I'll tell you what. It's not membrane because it's edible. You know we want this like clean bone shot, so let's go here. And let's go here. Let's just pull this out. I mean, juicy as anything. That is gorgeous and soft. We are just a little bit tenser on the top. But on a beef rib, you've obviously got two cuts. You've got this bit, which is the sort of beef rib, and then this a bit of brisket on the top. Quite often I'll separate them to cook them, but with the Dino ribs like this, I just wanted to cook everything together. Oh, you know, that is Absolutely stunning. Let's try and cut one more of these for another cross section. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so this bit at the top, that's the bit that was probing a bit tighter. It is still tight, but I mean, I still think it's going to eat well. Let's cut a bit off and see. Tell you what, I rested it upside down. And normally I wouldn't do that because that's going to sacrifice some bark, but I actually think it's saved the burnt bit. I think it's like softened up the burnt bit a little bit. Let's go here. It's a beautiful fatty bit, but tender, like dripping juicy. I was honestly a bit worried. Went with gut feel, you know, we hadn't hit temperature. But beef ribs are totally different to something like brisket. Hasn't got to all be about temperature. No, we're probing beautifully. That rendered fat, like disgustingly good. They took about 6 hours cooking. Flesh side, bone side, flesh side, bone side. A bit worried at the end there, so we foiled them. I think that was probably a good decision. We almost burnt them, but I mean, just look at that. Dino beef ribs, cooked over live fire on the Kadai, using British beech and retired whiskey staves. Thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like and a follow. We're going to be doing loads more content like this. First cooks, things I've never done before. Be great if you followed along for the ride. But for now, it's time for me to eat. See you soon.